Well, you're not going to want to hear this, but most people are fundamentally lazy. Oh, I know you don't like the sound of it. I get it. But if we're being honest, most of what Agile endeavors to solve is that simple problem. That most people have some kind of laziness in them. It could be physical laziness, but it also could be mental, emotional laziness. Unwilling to step outside their fear zone. Unwilling to try new things. Lacking courage, grit, lacking humility. All of those things are a form of laziness. Laziness, I define as simply being unwilling to do the work to get the result. I don't mean the physical work. See, here's the thing about laziness. Work is shrouded in useless, safe things. You can spend all day working on spreadsheets, jumping on off calls. You might even have to make a lot of decisions in a day. But if any of those things don't add up to meaningful progress, some kind of done thing, something you can hold in your hand, something that's better today than it was yesterday or different, then you're not really working. A lot of people like to say, oh, I love to travel. I'd love to travel more. I can't wait to do more travel. And you might say, great, why don't we go to Europe this fall? Oh, yeah, but there's this and there's that and there's the other thing. Okay. I'd love to start a business. I want to run my own thing. I want to be my own boss. And man, wouldn't it be great? And as soon as I'm ready, I'm going to launch. All right, when? Let's get it started. Let's work on it tomorrow. Let's build something small. Let's start. What are we making? What are we building? Who are we reaching? Let's go find a customer. Let's create a product idea. Let's draw some diagrams. Start building. Find people. Get the help that we need. Get the funding that we need. Yeah, well, not just yet, though. As soon as this other thing is done, then I'll be ready. Great, let's write a movie. The list goes on and on. Basically, your dream is over here, and you're over there. There's a gap between you and where you want to go. Everyone has that gap. Every single living person has that gap. Somewhere they want to go and where they are right now. Getting there requires that we do something. It requires that we act. We have to stir the pot. The molecules have to move. And that's where most people get trapped. For whatever reason they get trapped, most people are not willing to suffer the pain, to generate the sweat, to test their muscles, to push and push hard. Whether it's because of the risk of failing and what that means to you, or the risk of succeeding and what that means to you, most people don't move that much. They talk a lot. They do a lot. There's tons of action, but it's not meaningful action. There's tons of activity, but it's not momentum. It's more like spinning around in a circle. When I was a kid, I was growing up in Oshawa, and there was this little strip mall that was close to our house. We got our groceries and our supplies there. We went to the convenience store there. We rode our bikes there. And there was a certain spot in the strip mall that was walled in on three sides. There were stores, library, haircutting place, a pizza store, all in this little U-shaped section. And when the wind would come blowing in down this long strip mall across all these storefronts, it would eventually end up in this little section, and it would start to spin. It would make this little tiny torrent, this little miniature hurricane, a whirlpool. And it would pick up all the plastic bags and garbage and spin it around like it was on a merry-go-round. Every once in a while, the wind would let it go, and it would fall back down to the ground, and then it would start again and pick up again. That's how most people live. Spinning around in circles, doing stuff, but at the end of the day, when the wind lets go, everything falls to the ground. And it's all just kind of waste. It's all just garbage. And it seems exciting and it seems pretty. Everyone stops to watch it. But there's nothing there. There's no real movement. The plastic bag never gets to see the next neighborhood or the next street over. Just kind of sits there till someone picks it up, throws it in the garbage can. If you don't believe me, or if you think I'm being too hard, try and experiment. Create a project. Talk to somebody at work, someone in your peer group, and say, let's build this, let's do this. And see how many times people can't, all of a sudden, they'll make the first 3 meetings, but they don't make meetings 4, 5, 6, and then after a while, they might even stop talking to you. See how many people say, oh, I'd love to, but I can't, I'm too busy. Oh, I'd love to, but I can't, I have another meeting. I'd love to, but my weekend was just crazy. It was so crazy busy. Everyone's crazy, aren't they? Other people say, oh, my foot hurts, my head hurts, my back hurts. And for the most part, we accept it. We say, well, of course, that makes sense. How can I expect you to commit to massive outcomes, to commit to bold and adventurous things when you have all these difficult things going on in your life? But here's the truth. Those difficult things, the sore foot, the sore neck, the sore back, the crises, the surprises, the disruptions, all of those things happen to everyone all the time. We're Agilists. We're supposed to be good at pivoting and saying, yeah, my foot hurts, so I'll learn how to work with the other one. Yeah, my back hurts, so I'll sit up, lie down, stand up, whatever I have to do to manage the pain and work through it. Because you can excuse your way through the entirety of your life and no one is going to call you on your BS. No one's going to say, wait a second. I thought we were supposed to be more resilient, more gritty than that. We want grand things, bold things. We see magnificent futures. We see outcomes that 99.99% of the population can't have, but we're not willing to do any of the work that we know in our hearts is required to get there. And the real thing is not the sore foot. It's not the drama that you're having with your vendor or your sister-in-law. It's the fear. It's the fear of committing. We don't commit to things. Commitment's disposable. Marriages are disposable. Friendships are disposable. Products are disposable. Go look in your junk drawer. How many old iPhones have you got sitting around? If you look at the statistics for some of my digital courses, easily 1/4 of the people who buy a product don't even open it within the first 6 months. After that, I stop counting. So we spend the money saying, I'm going to improve. I want better. I want to learn. I want more. I want to enjoy this experience. And then we just, too much work. We drift away. We forget. We allow our attention to be captured by insignificant things. That's a form of laziness. It's not that we're not doing. It's not that we don't want to get up off our butts. We just don't want to do the hard things. Hard things is looking at ourselves and the commitments that we make and then break and saying, nope, I want to do better. You can't lead like that, folks. If all you do is make promises and break them, you think nobody's watching, you think they're buying your excuses, you're wrong. They're watching. They're judging. They're making assessments. They're learning. And you're handing it to them. You're giving it to them. You're 100% responsible for your outcomes. You're 100% responsible for the opinions that other people have of your trustworthiness, your leadership quality, and your character. The simplest way to build a better reputation is to act in ways that are worthy of a great reputation. That means we can never be lazy. Not only can we not say, I feel like sleeping in, I don't want to go to work today. That's one thing. That's first level stuff. It's the next level stuff that matters more. Are we willing to look at ourselves and say, holy crap, I'm lazy. I allowed my weakness to get the better of me right there. I didn't act courageously today. I wanted to be better, but I didn't do the things required to be better. Now, I can speak with authority on this because this used to be me. I used to tell people I was going to do stuff or show up at a place, and at the last moment, I'd be like, no, I'm not feeling so great. Must have ate something funny. Just got out of the car, long drive, tired, sleepy. I don't want to risk it. And someone once told me, people remember that. People start to form an opinion about you. that you always say you're going to do something and you never do it. And that changed things for me. And I made a decision to be different and to do different. And it took a ton of exploration and a ton of work, but I can save you the same trouble. Take a good look. Catch yourself making an excuse. Every time you make a commitment and then you don't keep it, you duck out, you change plans. That is intellectual or emotional laziness. And it's got nothing to do with how much horsepower you put out. I know you make 100-page PowerPoint presentations. I know you make giant spreadsheets. I know you go to a lot of meetings. I know you're on the committee. I know you're on the council. I know you're the coach of the team. I know you do tons of volunteer work, and that stuff is all energy. But if that energy doesn't go to some kind of an evolution, making tomorrow better than today, then there's an opportunity to step up your game, to do better. Do one thing this week. Just start noticing in yourself and especially in others how many times people say they will, and then it turns out that they won't. You'll start to notice. You'll start to notice that most of the world is made up of people who make excuses. It's easy. You have no competition when you look at it that way. All you have to do is be bold, to make promises and keep them, to make commitments and hold them dear, to simply get up and put in the reps today, to find a way to push through the pain, the discomfort, the fear, the disarray. And this is where you'll really start to get agile at a deep philosophical level, because these are the problems that all of those principles and processes were designed to work around. Don't work around them. Work right through them.